Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nicholas Kid. Thank you so much for watching to this video, and by looking at some of the gorgeous footages here, you can't help but think that this is a MacBook, but not quite the case. Well, this here is the Asus Zenbook UX330A. I know that this has been a long-awaited review, but I just like to make sure that I list down everything that I like and dislike about this laptop over the use of about 2.5 weeks. So if you guys would also like to take a look at the components that come with the laptop itself, I actually have an unboxing video made, so the link would be in the description box below if you guys would like to check that out. So anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing that I would like to touch on is the build quality of the laptop. It has a aluminum alloy unibody chassis, and it's around 13.5mm thin and a feather light of only 1.2 kilograms. And just for comparison, the latest Acer Swift 7 is at 12mm and the MacBook Air is at 18mm. So this laptop here is somewhere in between. And it actually comes in two colors. One of them is rose gold, and the one that I have here is this sophisticated quartz gray. Speaking of rose gold, that was the initial color of the laptop that I had, and the one here is a replacement model. I have a link in the description box below if you guys would like to know more about what happened, but nonetheless, the hinge of the laptop is relatively stable. Build quality of this budget MacBook. Putting it in simple terms, the build quality of this laptop isn't all that great. There's a little bit of flaws here and there, and the build structure of the laptop is quite weak. Coming to the I/O ports of the Asus Zenbook, Asus has been very generous. They gave us a decent amount of ports, especially for an Ultrabook, because compared to other Ultrabooks such as the Acer Swift 7, it only has just a couple of ports, and it's even worse on the MacBook. Since we're in this transitional period, I think it's better if we have a mix of USB-C ports and our original USB 3.0 ports. Well, luckily for us, we have two USB 3.0 ports, one reversible USB-C port, one micro HDMI port that allows you to connect to your TV or something that has a bigger screen. And also, last but not least, we have a SD card slot. As for the keyboard, it is a backlit keyboard, which is very nice, and there are 3 levels to be configured, so you don't have to worry about working in the dark, although it's not very recommended. It has a 1.5mm travel distance, which falls under the comfortable range for an Ultrabook. But overall, bear in mind that this is an Ultrabook, and because of its thin form factor, for my opinion, I think it's great. It gives you this very sort of satisfying feeling, and it's pretty solid. For the trackpad, we have some pretty cool gestures. Is it gestures or I think it's gestures. Okay, pretty cool gestures from Windows 10. And you know, it takes a while to learn all of the different movements, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty cool, and it allows you to navigate your laptop very easily. The technology developed for this trackpad is developed to be similar to a smartphone's touchscreen, which I actually felt the difference, but it's gonna be the same way as how you navigate through your smartphone. From my experience, the trackpad has a very high sensitivity, and the accuracy of it is relatively sharp. And for the different variant, the one that I have here is running a Core i5, but if you get the higher end model, the Core i7, it has a fingerprint sensor built into the trackpad. So that looks pretty damn cool. Unfortunately for the webcam, I didn't have any expectations for it at all, but as it turned out, yeah, it's terrible. It's nothing different compared to a potato camera. Now, jumping into the display, my laptop here has FHD display at 1080p, but if you get the i7, it will give you a
Quad HD resolution display, which is way more sharper than what I have now. But it's quite a good experience. Although it's just FHD, I'm still getting very pleasant photo viewing, and also for video editings. It has a 178 degrees of wide angle display, so your friends and families will not see any distorted pictures or whatever when they're at the side. Asus also claims that the display is more accurate in terms of colors and it's vivid compared to any other standard display. Next up, hardware. My laptop here is running on an Intel Core i5 7th generation, has Windows 10 Pro, 8GB of LPDDR3 RAM, which is very impressive for an Ultrabook. Also, 256GB of SSD, and if you get the higher end model, you can upgrade it up to 512GB. The thing that I like about SSD, and I've also mentioned this in my previous video, is that the boot up is really crazily fast. So seeing that for the first time will absolutely blow your mind. The thing that I didn't quite like about this Ultrabook, although it's very thin, it's that the fan noise, and it's significantly loud and pretty annoying too at times when under load. But this only happens during like very heavy use of it, and also during the Windows update, which is I mean, it's not all the time, but when it comes to it, it's I don't know, it doesn't feel good. For the battery, Asus claims that it is capable of maintaining a 12-hour run, but in my experience, I actually got up to around 8 or 9, but that really depends on your usage of it. It's possible to gain 10 hours, but on and off, definitely. It wouldn't really go that far in one shot, but if you manage it well, yeah, 10 hours is no problem. Surprisingly, this laptop, if you have very light usage of it, it can last you for days. There's this one time where I was like, wait a minute, have I charged my laptop? And then when I checked it, I was like, whoa, but it has been days. The battery is still okay. The amount of time to charge this laptop here is very quickly. It's almost like fast charging, but then it can last you up for a very long time, which I'm very happy about. And for our last and final section, the speaker. And surprisingly, for an Ultrabook, this Zenbook here, like any other, is developed by Harman Kardon. And if you guys are not familiar with that brand, the parent company of JBL is under Harman, I think. Either one of them. And as you know, speakers produced by JBL is never a disappointment, so it shouldn't be on this Ultrabook here. But I honestly think that is really amazing. Definitely not what I expected, because it's such a small laptop and there's no subwoofer or whatever, but it still sounded great and superb. So ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much a wrap for this budget MacBook. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys would like to see more footages of this Zenbook here, be sure to let me know down in the comment section box below. And of course, your general thoughts on it would be great. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. My name is Nicholas Kid, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye.